So the vision of Firsthand is people matter, make stuff that matters. And it's something that we've always had from the beginning, but it took a while to really extrapolate that and build a brand around that.
So Firsthand started with a problem. I couldn't find a product that worked for my hair that wasn't packed with weird chemicals. So I decided to make one. I'm making this stuff out of my apartment, and right off the bat, we experienced tons of organic growth. 6 months into it, we moved into our first facility. I'm still working my job full time, making this stuff on the side, pulling 15-hour days. So around that same time, we added tons of new products to the line and got into stores all over the world. 6 months later, I'm at a point where I can't keep my job anymore. So I quit my job and jump all in. This was right around the time where Josh joined as well, and we moved into the facility that we're currently in right now.
When you start a business, you're just consumed by every single thing, and as it's growing, you're even more consumed. For us, we just sort of hit a point where we had to stop ourselves and say, okay, like, what are we doing? Like, why did we actually quit our jobs? And so we spent a good week, 2 weeks, just talking through all of our values. Like, what do we feel like defines us as individuals? And ultimately, those things are going to define the company. So as we started to look at all these values that we had, and we started attaching phrases to it and imagery to it, we looked at something that we felt really described and portrayed who we were. And then we looked at how we were currently portraying ourselves. We felt a disconnect. And that's when we were like, I think we need to rebrand and retell this story. So we had just come out of this value mapping, realized the need for a rebrand. We go with Parker. Tyler and his wife Brooke run the company. So we just started going through every layer of who we are. Tyler collected a bunch of notes on us, and then him and his team submitted to us what's called a narrative guide that says, here's how you're currently communicating who you are. Here's how you want to be communicating who you are, and here's how you should be communicating who you are. For the first time ever, we had something that not only conveyed who we were as a company, but it articulated it in a way in which we always felt, we just couldn't put it into words. And so people matter, make stuff that matters is what came from that document. And they used that phrase to really start building everything out. And they designed a few different options for us. And the one that we went with, ultimately, we felt it gave us a timeless look, and it gave us a look in which we could scale with. It was a great process, because once we had that North Star, that brand narrative, it was pretty easy to start making decisions. And that's when things got a little bit interesting, because up until this point, we were just changing the visual identity and had a new way to talk about ourselves. But we realized that if we are going to make people matter by making stuff that matters, we had to take a hard look at everything that we're making and make sure that it lived up to that standard. And that's when we decided to scrap 2/3 of our product line, really focus everything down to one singular category and really nail this people matters in that one category and build up from there. If we're saying that people matter, every single ingredient in the products that remained had to matter and had to pass the highest and strictest tests possible.
So with the rebrand, we looked into our products and all the formulas and really looked hard to see, like, are any of these ingredients questionable in any way? And if they are, we pull them to the side, we do our research and find out, all right, is this something that we can keep, or is it something that we have to get rid of? So we wanted to make sure that we could stand behind all the ingredients we were using.
And then we got this crazy idea, if all the ingredients are gonna be this super high standard, how do we take this even further and make the packaging reflect people matter as well? We found somewhere on the internet this jar that was made with what they call PCR, which is essentially the same plastic that a milk jug or a gallon of water is made out of. So all of our products are made from basically recycled milk jugs. And what's interesting about the whole process was it was actually more difficult to do what we feel is the right thing. Every single thing that we looked at to use PCR to make our containers, it was a dead end, left and right. So finally stumbled onto one manufacturer that agreed to make these jars with this material, as long as we found the material ourselves. Neither one of us are versed in the recycled plastics world. So we start calling a bunch of places and a bunch of people just saying, you know, for the amount that you're looking to order, we can't do that. Or they just were sold out of it, or they weren't selling it. I mean, again, just tons of roadblocks. So we finally found one place that would sell it to us. And so we had the manufacturer and we had the recycled plastics facility, and we connected them. Our goal was to do 75% of our product line in PCR, and we hit 98%. If we're gonna make people matter, can we make the packaging and the way that we make our packaging matter? And if we're benefiting the environment, we're benefiting people. And like everyone knows, we have a plastics crisis. The stats are pretty crazy. 300 million pounds of plastic are created every single year, and the amount of that gets recycled is tiny. And the amount of that ends up getting thrown away every single day is massive. We thought if we can not contribute to this crisis by using recycled plastics in our products, I mean, it's just a win-win for everyone. So to see this whole process come together and to actually see this North Star, our brand narrative of people matter, make stuff that matters, actually come to life was pretty amazing.